Today I am going to do a spirometer assessment for you. For that I choose my lung. I am going to take maximum breathing into my lung. First of all, I am going to remove air from my lung as much as possible. The amount of gas which remaining in my lung is called residual volume. I am going to start breathing from residual volume. I am going to take maximum amount of air into my lung as much as possible. Now my lung is full of oxygen, not only oxygen, full of gas. Now my lung is full with gases. Now my total lung capacity is achieved. After that, I am going to expire into gadget which can measure the expiratory volume and time in the same time. If I started with residual volume, how much of air I can take into my lung if I am perfectly healthy and normal and 70 kg? It is roughly about 4500. My lung capacity is approximately 6 liter. 1.5 belong to residual volume, I can't remove. Rest is 4.5 liter. I am going to take vital capacity breath now. I am going to expirate into that gadget which can simultaneously measure the volume of expiration and time. This is red one is my lung. I am going to measure the spirometer value for my red lung first. So this axis is time, x-axis is time, this axis is volume. Initially zero volume is there. Initially with the time, see time 0, no volume is going to out. When I start to expire, the gas rapidly come into outside. Then with the time it will be like this. The volume here 0, here maximum volume is 4.5 liter or 4500 ml. If I perfectly normal, 75% of 4500 I will be able to remove from my lung within first second. Within first second, I will be able to remove 75% of my total air. 75% of my total air. We are going to call it value as post expiratory volume in first second. Post expiratory volume in first second. This one we are going to call as post vital capacity. Post vital capacity. If I perfectly normal, the post expiratory volume in 1 second divided by post vital capacity must be somewhere around 75%. Here it is 75%. Then we will see what happened in patient with chronic obstructive airway disease. The primary pathology of chronic obstructive airway disease is airway is obstructed. There are two entities of patient with chronic obstructive airway disease. Number one, emphysema entity. What happened in the emphysema entity is their alveolar septa is damaged, maybe due to smoking and induced of tryptase enzyme. Alveolar septa going to be breakdown because of the activation of elastase. So because of that, the radial traction on your smaller airway is going to lose. Because this radial traction is maintained by alveolar septa. Now alveolar septa is less. Because of that, no radial traction, airway tend to narrow. The condition is called emphysema. Other entity is called chronic bronchitis. Can you define chronic bronchitis? If you are a patient having cough with expectorant more than 3 months in 2 consecutive years, we are going to call that patient having chronic bronchitis. What happened in the chronic bronchitis is your airway going to be inflamed. Because of that, airway is narrowed. In addition to that, blood blood cell also hyperplasia happening. Because of that, secretions also goes up. Due to secretions and inflamed epithelium, the airway caliber is going to be reduced. If you having small airway calibers, can you remove this much of air during the expiration? No. With each inspiration, your lung remaining gas. Because of that, your lung is little bit hyperinflamed. Here your normal lung, this lung is hyperinflamed because small airway cannot completely empty your lung. Airway tend to collapse with the expiration, latter part of the expiration. Because of that, air trapping happening with each and every expiration. Because of that, you have large barrel-shaped lung. You can't remove air properly. Because of that, you can't take 4500 air in like in the normal patients. Sometimes you may be able to only take 300 of air into lung even after normal post-full expiration. In patient with COPD, just only this much they can expirate. They can take this much out in, they can expire only this up to this much. Here you can expire this much, you can take this much, you can take 4500, you can expire up to 1500. Here your lung capacity may be 7 liter, not like here 6 liter. Even though you have 7 liter here, you can expirate and you can only remove only 3 liters, 4 liter may be remaining in your lung even after normal post-full expiration. That means residual volume may be 4 liters in that case. So here you can only remove 3 liters. Here you can remove 4.5 liter. We'll see what happens when this patient expire into Vitello. Like here, he can't rapidly remove air from lung because airway caliber is narrowed. It will take time. So expiratory process is prolonged. It will take long time to completely expire. If you draw a Vitello curve or spirometer curve for patient with COPD, patient with chronic obstructive airway disease, it will be like this. Total amount 3 liters. Within first second or post expiratory volume in 1 second, it may be somewhere around 1.5 liter. In that case, post expiratory volume in 1 second divided by post vital capacity, here 3 liter divided by 1.5 liter divided by 3, roughly about 50%. If you found a patient with post expiratory volume in 1 second divided by post vital capacity less than 75, your patient may having chronic obstructive airway disease or airway obstruction at that time when we are measuring. It may be due to bronchial asthma even. So if you found a patient with reduced post expiratory volume in 1 second divided by post vital capacity, you should aware your patient having some kind of airway narrowing. We'll see what happens in patient with restrictive lung disease. The primary pathology of the restrictive lung disease is infiltration of your lung parenchyma, either fibrosis of lung parenchyma. With the infiltration of lung parenchyma, your alveolar duct tend to pull more and more outside. Opposite may happen here. Here, more and more material deposit here. Because of that, airway tend to keep open more and more. In addition to that, lung also will try to recoil much more because from here also they pull. From here also they pull. Because of that, their total lung volume is less. Their total lung volume is less. Here we think their total lung volume is, normal lung volume is 6. Here lung volume is 4.5. Total lung volume. They can expire easily because airway is open. Lung also tend to collapse. Here lung also tend to collapse. Because of that, they can remove much more air from their lung. Here he can remove only up to 1.5 liter. Here he has to kept 4 liters in their lung. Here only 1 liter remaining in the lung. But total amount that patient can take into their lung also less, because lung can't pull out easily. They tend to collapse because of the fibrous septa. Here total lung volume because of that 4.5 liter. 1 liter remaining at the end of the expiration, post-pull expiration. That means here they can use 3.5 liter for vital capacity breath. 3.5 liter for vital capacity breath. Now he going to expire into vital graph as much as rapidly. Because of that airway is open throughout the expiratory process, they can easily remove the air from the lung. They can easily remove the air from the lung. Draft will be like this. Within first second, they can remove up to 80% of air from their lung. Up to 80% of their lung volume. That means expiration is much more easy. But they have lesser amount of post vital capacity. Here 3.5, here 5.5, sorry 4.5, here 3. So if you found a patient with this one FEV1, this one FVC, if you found a patient with FEV1 divided by FVC more than 75% or more than 80%, some book says more than 80%, you are patient having restrictive airway disease. You are patient having restrictive airway disease. If you are perfectly normal, it must be somewhere around 75. If it is less than 75, you may having obstructive airway. If it is more than 75, you may having restrictive airway. That is all regarding the obstructive and restrictive airway and spirometer and vital graph. Thank you very much.